I'm from Thunder Bay, Ontario, Canada. I'm the youngest of three brothers. All we did was, we were competitive athletes. We always fought. We're 80s babies, so prior to the nice generation of people, fighting was a very constant part of our lives because that's what we did as kids. We fought grades on grades, we fought individuals, but it was never about trying to hurt them. It was just, we were just fighting. We just thought it was normal to our being kids. When we were playing hockey, worst thing that happened is somebody would punch us in the face with a cage on, right? But you know, it was full contact. Play full contact sports your whole entire life. There's not necessarily always a need to go out and start fighting people. No, I was above average, but I wasn't like top tier athletes. I was pretty generalized, but everything I came was just off of research and what I enjoyed doing. It was the individual sports that I succeeded at, like track and field. In Canadian cities, because our rules and regulations with gun violence is so minimal, right? Like we don't have to worry about going to a bar and getting shot. The worst thing that's going to happen is we're going to get to a bar fight. And bar fights are pretty common, especially in a place like Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay is 100,000 people in the middle of nowhere, basically. So when people get drunk, they fight each other. And that was actually a pretty norm part of our life was, and everybody in Thunder Bay too, not just me, people just fought. I never did any actual martial arts prior to the military. What ended up happening with me, which hooked me on specifically like Brazilian Jiu-jitsu, was it was the end of my basic training, and they were doing grappling, and they all had different disciplines. So you had Alex, who was a jiu-jitsu guy. Zikos was a Greco-Roman wrestler. McMullen was a normal freestyle wrestler, and Jeremy was a sambo guy, right? So, and I watched Alex, who was half their size, beat these guys. So it got me hooked right from there. That's where I was immediately hooked on jiu-jitsu. Was that how a little guy was able to beat all these big guys? So we invested in books and research, and that's how inevitably I started full-time in martial arts, was that concept. I served with the 2 PPCLI battle group in Task Force 108, Afghanistan, in 2008. So what ends up happening is we go into an environment like that, and we are well-trained. Out of the soldiers that enter that country, we are one of the best. As Canadian soldiers, you can't find a pound-for-pound better soldier than a Canadian. So we're prepared going in there. It's how do you shut that off when you get back? That was the difficult part, and that's a lot of the issues that I was having, is I couldn't shut it off. So fighting became the offset to that adrenaline. Because I could go to a bar and beat somebody up, but look how much trouble I'm gonna get in for doing that. I can get drunk all the time and try to do it that way, but it wasn't doing anything. So I really focused on when my best friend was killed in September 3rd of 2008. He wrote a poem on why I fight, specifically his, right? So his name is Andrew Grennan. I'll send you the poem afterwards. But explain in the very last sentence, I fight so my children don't have to. And that's kind of the concept, is you could teach a child Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and he'll never have to fight in his life. Teach him how to fight, and most of the time he'll never fight anybody. But you let a kid just run wild, that's what happens. They get in trouble, they fight people. Well, keep them out of that environment, that'll never happen, right? So as Canadian soldiers, we get 3 weeks paid vacation to go anywhere. So I spent a week plus in Pattaya, Thailand, training Muay Thai with, at a world-class facility. So I always loved fighting, and I always loved to learn how to fight, and it just really depended who I was. I really thought I liked striking over jiu-jitsu for a long period of time, until I returned from Afghanistan and I switched my mentality to jiu-jitsu over striking, and it was a huge difference. I like getting punched in the face, but it's not always cool getting punched in the face. It hurts, it's taxing on your body, but jiu-jitsu you can do all the time as long as your body can sustain the torquing and the pulling and so on and so forth. I'm one of those little guys, so instead of going after the little guys, I always go after the big guys. Every last big guy I always go after. Nobody else. I call the biggest guy in the gym. Why not? Because he's the guy that's gonna make your life suck the most. And to me, that's, my life sucking makes me put a smile on my face, well, this sucks and let's go again, right? The objective is always to get better, but at the same time learn and fight some more and then learn some more. But I'm a huge competition guy now, so competitions are really what drive me. They get that adrenaline going, you know what I mean? The proper adrenaline, the one that keeps me like, yes, this is why I train every day, day in, day out. Focusing on the negative aspects of my life, or the inhibitors that always took place, I focus on the things that made me better. Food and nutrition, exercising, fighting, and I'm just a generally better person towards everybody, I guess. It's just, even though Canadians are generally pretty polite people, sometimes you get pissed off, you get angry. That has lessened. That's what it's done. It's given me the opportunity to think about what I say and then say it, instead of just saying it without ever having or even caring about it, right? So It's develop emotion again. Me and his son's mother, we broke up at such a young age. So he was only 10 months old. So I was forced to be a single father at a very early age, or at his very early age. So I changed diapers, I did all those things, and, and it didn't bother me. I loved doing it. I loved being a father. Changed my life. I changed my habits, it changed what I did, it changed my thought process, it changed that my life is all now based towards making his better. And that's all I think about is I want to be near him, I want to be around him, I want to tell him he's awesome and be, I just want to be a dad.